How can we better communicate with our teenagers who won't talk to us? I am here with Nathaniel Nevedal. When tackling conversations with a tough teenager, how important is it the parent's ability just to keep their cool, regulate their own nervous system?
Josh, you're pretty much hitting it right on the head. The regulating ourselves is so crucial because first off, our teens' brain's not developed.
I can vouch for that. I got some teenagers.
But they think they are. They think they know it all, right? But, the unique thing is how I like to term it as they're borrowing. They're borrowing our nervous system. They're borrowing our self-control.
You talk about curiosity within the article. What is the role of curiosity in our own healing as parents in helping our kiddos?
Softening. We think a lot of times that, well, I had that good conversation with you. Didn't you? I did this one thing. Wasn't that enough? And shouldn't you be happy? And so we think, hey, I hit a home run. I won the game. We're just in the first inning.
In this episode of the Road to Happiness podcast, I'm going to be meeting with counselor Nathaniel Nevedal, NICC therapist at MyCounselor.Online, and we're going to be unpacking his new article on how can we better communicate with our teenagers who won't talk to us. I don't know if you have teenagers or know somebody with teenagers, this is going to be helpful to you. I've got a host of teenagers and have had several teenagers, as Cassie and I did foster care for a number of years and cared for lots of teenagers. And I know how challenging it can be. And so we're going to tackle it, take it on, and give you some practical advice and direction on how to engage with curiosity, how to create safety in a way that helps draw out and engage the teenager in your life. So stick around. You're going to learn some things that help you mature into true happiness. The Road to Happiness podcast is made possible by MyCounselor.Online. Hey, we all need some help every now and then. And the counselors at MyCounselor.Online are thrilled to come alongside you and help you navigate all the challenges in relationship or just life, the obstacles that life throws at you that get in the way. So check them out, MyCounselor.Online. They'd be honored to serve you. All right. I am here with Nathaniel Nevedal, and we are looking at his article, How Can We Better Communicate with Our Teenagers Who Won't Talk to Us? This is a new article that you've got popped out, and I so appreciate you taking the time to distill the experience that you have from working with hundreds of teens and parents over the years in a counseling context to kind of help us have some insights into, how to navigate what can be challenging conversations with our kiddos. And, they don't come with instruction manuals, as they say. And so it's not always easy and straightforward to know what to do. So thanks for taking the time to write this, taking the time to be with me and talk through it. The first thing I want to ask you is, when tackling conversations with a tough teenager, how important is it the parent's ability just to keep their cool, regulate their own nervous system?
Josh, you're pretty much hitting it right on the head. Parents, the regulating ourselves is so crucial because first off, our teens' brain's not developed.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. I got some teenagers.
but they think they are. They think they know it all, right?
Yeah.
But the unique thing is how I like to term it as they're borrowing. They're borrowing our nervous system.
Yeah.
They're borrowing our self-control. We're image bearers. So if that's what I see, then that's what I do. Or that's what I don't want to do. So, regulating ourselves is so crucial because of that aspect of, how God created us. We're a reflection of Him. Why wouldn't they be a reflection of us?
Yeah, it makes sense. And we've got these mirror neuron things, right? That our nervous system influences the nervous system of the people around us. So it makes total sense that as a parent coming into conversation, if we're all dysregulated, that I'm not going to be able to help them be in their best state of mind.
Yeah.
And so if we're both out of our minds, it's not exactly
happens, right?
success, is it? Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What you talk about curiosity within the article. What is the role of curiosity in our own healing as parents in helping our kiddos?
Yeah, that's great. Softening.
Mm.
So how I look at that is this: we have this interpersonal criticism that happens, right? This self-criticism.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we can soften that with curiosity, we're changing that internal question of like, what's wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
To more of like, what might this reaction be telling me?
Yeah.
And changing that. Yeah. Just reducing that shame because when we feel that shame, what do you think's coming out?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if we can be curious with that reactivity in us and that self-criticism, maybe we can shift that question inside to saying, why am I reacting this way?
Yeah, I think it's such a key thing, that it's not intuitive, but the curiosity that we have with our own internal dialogue, our own experience, how that translates into the curiosity or lack of curiosity that we have with our kiddos. Like, it's really hard to be curious about other people's experience if we're not curious about our own experience.
Right.
And that, either sets the conversation up for an openness and a back and forth dialogue that's characterized by compassionate curiosity, or about one that is more combative, defending positions, judgments, either kiddos, judgments about how we don't know what we're talking about, or our kind of judgments about whether what they're feeling is valid or not. And it just digresses. Yeah. But that curiosity sets the tone, and that matters. That's a big deal. How important is it for parents to patiently and persistently kind of create safety? Patience, that being persistently present, engaging, and safety in the conversation. How do these things work together?
Yeah, being a patient parent. We don't need to be that, right?
I tell you what, it's hard for me to be one. Part of me knows that it's important, but gosh, it's so hard for me, anyways.
Right. It's hard because that's great. I'm laughing because we think a lot of times that, well, I had that good conversation with you. Didn't you? I did this one thing. Wasn't that enough? And shouldn't you be happy? And so we think, hey, I hit a home run. I won the game. We're just in the first inning. There's still a lot more game left. And that's such a big thing, is that we have to get away from that reality of like, okay, I just need to do one-offs. Because we're not really building that consistent, calm, safe space. Like, hey, Mom, Dad, can I show up where I'm at right now? Not where you're at, where I'm at.
Yeah.
And that reactivity and that consistency, being patient with them and persistent, is such a valid thing for that nervous system in them.
It builds over time, right? That consistently, if I keep showing up with my kiddo in a way that communicates that I care about them, I care about their world, I care about what's happening inside, and I care about it when they show up well, and I care about it when they don't show up well, and I care about it when they're talking to me about it, and I care about it when they're stonewalling me and they're not talking to me about it. Like, they may be really inconsistent in how they show up, but when I can show up consistently with them, that creates safety. They know what to expect and they know what they're going to get from me. And yeah, that has a way of softening those walls.
Right.
Right. Like we're talking about this persistence and this consistency sort of thing. Are there other things that we can do to help create safety for our kiddo to have are vulnerable conversations for them, right? To share, particularly if they're sharing stuff that, I don't want to hear necessarily as a parent, right? Like it's easy for kids to hear kids parent and create safety when what they have to say is what I want to be the case. What becomes challenging is when it's not what I would prefer.
Yeah, like let's say, when our daughter comes up, hey, Dad, I'm interested in this boy.
No mercy.
What'd you say? Yeah. Right. Like, and I got to be calm.
That situation. How do we create safety in that situation?
Right. That's a big safety, right?
I'm taking notes.
Like, you're going out in that? Well, everyone else is wearing it, and then, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's what I'm asking. What do we do, Nate? How do we... What do I do in that situation to create safety?
Yeah, that's it. The big thing is also it's just looking at ourselves, because we tend to want to live through our children. Hey, this is safe. But we don't realize they're still children. They still have autonomy. They still need to feel seen, secure, and safe. So I just kind of go back to the biblical terms, like, let's create that garden. Hey, I see you here. Where are you at? You're safe here. Yeah. What's this shame I'm feeling? What's this fear I'm feeling? You don't need to cover up. Come to me. It's when we start doing that, first Adam event, where, hey, you need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And they feel that shame, so they drop out of the garden.
Yeah.
And then the only way for us to kind of save them is we got to come out of that garden and be an example for them. I'm going to come for you.
Yeah, it's so hard to do, but it goes back to that piece of staying regulated, staying curious in ourselves. Because when we, come out with, the rules without relationship create rebellion in our space.
Yeah.
We can come out and be like, no, you're not going to do this, not that, not okay, and that may be true and that may be valid and a good, reasons for those things. But if we don't have conversation, if we don't have curiosity, if we don't create space for dialogue or communicate the felt sense that I care about what it is you're experiencing, you're just inviting pushback and, shutting down the lines of communication. It's got to be a two-way conversation, not just a monologue about what you're doing wrong and what you need.
Like, what's making you wear that? Yeah. What's going on in your life? What's going on?
Yeah, tell me about this.
Yeah, tell me.
It requires so much patience. I'm such an impatient person, Nate. Like, I find myself slowing down and making the space for the conversation. It takes sacrifice on my part.
No, all of us, right? Mom or dad, but it's part of that pride.
Yeah,
we love them so much, but our pride can get in the way. So we're not humble. It's my way or the highway.
Yep.
And there's nothing worse than sending them on that highway.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Nate, as you work with families, work with teens, you help families kind of navigate those seasons where their communication kind of broken down and there's challenges in talking through some of these things. Like, what does that look like? How do you as a counselor help facilitate these conversations between parents and teenagers? What can maybe a parent expect if they're coming in with their teen facing some of these challenges?
Well, the first thing I love my clients to realize, especially when it comes to the kiddos, confidentiality. The safety of that. Hey, what happens in here stays in here.
Yeah.
Big emotions, little emotions, whatever comes in. But the wedge there too is that this is a neutral space. I'm going to hear them. I'm going to hear you. I'll hold you, all of you.
Yeah.
And so we don't get back into that rut of not actively listening, not validating. No, this is right. That's not right. And instead experience clear expression. So I love to use that with our, families. What does clear expression look like? It's a neutral space where I can feel, you can feel. I can understand you, you can understand me. And then we come to that understanding. Hold on. We can get out of this cycle of misunderstanding. We can get out of this cycle of conflict and really rebuild those circuits to say, okay, this is what feedback feels like. This is what good feedback feels like.
Yeah.
And just kind of, being guided by the Holy Spirit that's in us and not denying that it's not in them. And that's a big thing. That's that heart posture. Just holding that heart posture.
You really create and help create that safety between the two and set each party up for success. This is what I'm hearing, is that you're coming in and we're missing each other at home. Their patterns of communication are not working for us. They're breaking down somewhere along the line. And you're able to see where those are breaking down, and you're able to help each show up in a way where they can be heard better, understood better, hear and understand each other better, which then translates into what happens outside of the counseling room. If we practice a different way of communicating, a different way of being in the counseling room, it changes the way we interact and the way we communicate outside of the counseling room. Also, that's powerful. A lot of us never had that experience with our own parents, so we don't have a real strong internal working model for how to do that. I know I didn't have that, coming into parenthood and parenting teenagers. And so it's been a thing that I've had to learn from other sources. And having some of the therapy that I've done, some of the work I've done with my kiddos in the counseling context, has been really influential into equipping me and helping me be the dad that I want to be. So,
all of us, right? We're all in that same boat. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nate, for the work that you do. For caring for your clients, for helping families navigate this difficult season. It makes a big difference, having someone like you in their corner to love on them and support them and encourage them, both the kiddo and the parent. So, thank you for that.
Yeah. I want to give you a big hug, Josh. I love that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah. And thanks for hanging out with me and doing this video, distilling some of that experience into an article in this video to be able to help families that are navigating these tough things. So appreciate you.
Amen. Thank you for that, Josh.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. It brings Cassie and I a lot of joy to be a part of your story and have these conversations with you just about life and faith and neuroscience. It is such a joy to get to do this with you. It's more fun when we learn together. I got a small ask for you. Would you hit the subscribe button for this podcast? It really helps us, and it's a free way in which you can support what it is that we're doing and help others be able to connect with the same resources that you're enjoying. And if you find yourself in need of a little extra help, check out MyCounselor.Online. They're our sponsors. They make this podcast possible. The Christian counselors at MyCounselor.Online would be thrilled to come alongside you and serve you in your time of need. Hey, and Cassie and I want you to know that we're praying for you and that we're cheering you on as you mature into true happiness.